Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back into more foodie beauty content. This is the video for I Let My Husband Control Me, which, bit of a yikes title. I think I know why she did it, but it's just assuming negative intent. But I'll let her explain herself in the video itself. So let's just get straight into it.
Just a bit of a little bit of an update with how I'm doing. For those of you who don't know, I suffer from binge eating disorder and food addiction, and I have been this way for as long as I can remember in my life. You know, even as a kid, I was always obsessed with food in a very unhealthy way. I would, use food for comfort. That developed into using food for comfort, and food has just always been.
This really just circles back to the point of if you have an ED and you have an addiction to food, you need to seek help. And I understand completely, not only from an ED perspective, because I have the same ED that both Amber and Foodie has, but also an arrogance level. Like, I used to be someone who would not use my ED as an excuse to do bad things or to like overindulge, but I would be use it somewhat of my ego as kind of a justification, like, oh, I can do it on my own, I don't need help. I did. You need help. Everybody needs a little bit of help from time to time. And mental health is just like physical health. If you have an injury, you have to go get it fixed. Same thing. You might not be ready to get it fixed, but sometimes that extra push is what you need. And even though I wasn't really ready for it, I did bring it up to my doctor, ask him, hey, is this something I could do? I took it to my therapist. My therapist worked through it with a little bit. We had like a session, not really a huge session. Primarily, I go there for like my anxiety and depression, but he just took about 10 minutes out of his day to go like, hey, this is what I believe you should do. It's the same thing as a physical wound. Get it addressed, work on yourself, and just adapt the strategies to you and make it your own so that way it works for you. There is no shame in admitting defeat. There is no shame in, accepting help. There is no shame when you are starting to spiral. Talk to someone about it. And that's kind of the problem that a lot of issues arise with Foodie and Amber. They just refuse to go seek help and take the advice and put the advice into action.
The main focus center of my life, and I have a lot of food noise in my head. It's just always food, 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 food. What am I going to eat next? Just always thinking about food, obsessing about food.
Oh, you could definitely tell that she is a food addict in her vlogs, especially when she went to like Bangkok. She's walking down the street to go look at shopping for clothes, and she's like, oh, look at all the fruits and vegetables. Oh, look at all the food stalls. Oh, look at the cafes. Oh, look at the restaurants. And you're like, okay, focus on the one particular thing. And you could definitely tell, I'm not going to diagnose her, but you could definitely tell that she has a lot of ADHD symptoms. Like, she has a lot of like time blindness, procrastination, unable to focus. Like, she will be in the middle of a conversation and then food will distract her, and that'll be the thing she focuses on. And I would not be surprised if she's a lot like me, if she even goes to bed and she dreams about eating, because that's what I do. If there are points in time where I go to bed and I'm not necessarily like starving myself or hungry, but if I have not binged in a while, like I haven't done it in ages, but when I was at the height of my disorder, like if I was binging but I didn't binge that particular day, I would be going to bed and dreaming about food, dreaming about eating. That's how bad it is. That's how bad of an addiction it can get.
So I have talked about this, ad nauseum on my channel, and I probably will continue to talk about, some of my struggles and stuff like that. So, but so far I'm on a winning streak, just doing well.
I mean, yeah, the diet is always going to be easy at the beginning because you're only really just starting to get that extra hit. Like when you start eating healthy food, you can tell the difference. You have a little bit more energy, but then once you start getting those cravings, that energy boost is nothing in comparison to the lows you have. And once you go downhill so fast when you are at the height of your addiction and then you go into a diet. And that is really the make or break. And that's why so many people say don't go cold turkey, because once you go cold turkey, it's going to hit you all at once and you will feel like you've been hit by a truck. And I had to go cold turkey because like these two, once I have that one meal that kind of makes me it's that one unhealthy meal, that's the floodgate. That's kind of like, the thing that I need to start binging again. And it wasn't until a whole year later I kind of had my first meal just to test the waters and see if I was okay. And I was able to go, okay, cool. I had a couple pieces of fried chicken, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm good. I can put this down. I'm genuinely happy with this. This is enough. And I walked away. They can't do that. They're not at the point where they could do that. And if you're doing that in the very first week of your diet, that is a recipe for disaster, because that is going to be the one thing that's going to cause you to fail.
You know, I'm actually really happy with the little accomplishments I've been making. So, some of those accomplishments are just I haven't binged in a while now. And well, a while for me is like probably a few days, like since Thailand, anyways.
I want to jump in here to kind of point out something that both Amber and Foodie does, and I'm not saying that Foodie is doing it right now, but what I am saying is that they will often omit the truth of them binging by saying, I haven't binged in X amount of days, but it's not because they are working on themselves. Most of the times, it's because they have overindulged to the point where the urge to binge is not around. Like, they've eaten so much throughout the day that they don't have the urge to binge, and it's not because that they're no longer binging, it's just that the urge is not there because they satisfied the urge for now. Like, there will come a point in time where they don't eat quite enough, or like overeat to the point where the urge is satisfied, and then the urge is going to get there and they're going to do so much more damage.
Since being back home, in Thailand, I ordered a lot, and I did have some, there were some times where, you know, I would be alone and just watching a movie or whatever in the hotel, and I would order out again on top of having had supper and stuff like that. And then I would order snacks or go to the 7-Eleven and have snacks. And I realized, you know, left to my own devices, being in private, I was able to just do whatever I wanted to, and was also able to hide things from my husband, you know, who's concerned about my health and my eating disorder. I will also.
Now, I'm just going to speculate on this, and I've already speculated on this before. I think it was kind of like a grace period. They both had an agreement where it's like, all right, you go your way, I go my way. We'll meet back after a month, and we'll do whatever we want in that time, and we won't speak about it. That's just an assumption on me, because I feel like it was just convenient that he had something come up the very last second. And I know that Foodie's a very jealous person, but she would rather be with someone who cheats on her than not be with someone at all, because she needs a man. Her entire personality is based on the fact that she has someone to love her or to show affection to her, because let's face it, that's not love. But that's my just speculation. I honestly think that he was like, all right, you go have your fun, I'll go have my fun, we'll meet back in a month.
Say that this is new for him. He's a you know, a person who doesn't have issues with food at all. They eat to live, and they don't think about food after, you know, they've eaten. They're good. They don't think about their next meal after that. So, and you know, I've been surrounded by normies my whole life. So, you know, and.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely agree. I have a lot of people who are not very active, but they are very slender because they have very fast metabolisms. They have problems putting on weight for that very reason. And so when they see me eat, or when they used to see me eat, they were genuinely horrified about how much food I could pack away. Like, I could show you how much damage I could do to any type of Italian food. I could eat 2 or 3 pizzas, family-sized pizzas, on my own at the height of my disorder, in one sitting. But now it's like, all right, cool, I can have a couple sauces, call it a day. Well, I shouldn't really say that. Pizza is my one weakness still. Shouldn't say just pizza. Also French fries. Oh, God. I will go ham on some potato, like sweet potato fries. They are so good. But those things aside, I'm pretty good with everything else.
When it comes to food, that's what I mean by normie. And so this is like a whole new thing for him. You know, I did mention when we met, because I feel it's important to be transparent with somebody, especially if you're planning on marrying them. and spending your life with them as a life partner. You know, husband and wife, you're a unit, you're a family unit, you're a couple, you go through life together, the ups and downs. And I felt it was important for him to really know what my downs were. So I did, you know, talk a bit about how I have issues with food. And, you know, I don't think at the time he really understood the full extent of it until he lived with me. And he would, you know, see little signs of, you know, like, when he would be sleeping, and then the next day there would just be like, you know, some evidence of binges happening. And
that either means, one, he walks into the kitchen in the morning and finds either the fridge completely empty, or two, food everywhere. And if it's the second one, God, I would hate living with you. I would so hate living with you.
I just, you know, we're going through it, and he's actually really supportive in a lot of ways. In every way he could be. He's very encouraging, you know, just today, throughout the day, just saying, you're doing such a good job, because he knows he's very intelligent, and he knows he learns fast. So I already feel like he knows, you know, like, kind of what it would be like for me and how hard it must be for me. So I'm glad that he can empathize with me and understand, and be patient. Like, I really emphasize to him, like, you really need to be patient, if this is going to work, because this is going to be like, there's a lot of ups and downs, and it's a very arduous journey.
Now, me personally, I would never date someone with an eating disorder, not because, you know, I'm that type of person, but because I have enough troubles with my own, and I would not like to feed their issues with my issues, and my issues with their issues. Like, that would be a recipe for disaster. But I do empathize and understand, and I would be able to give leniency, but there would be a time in which these two would push me to the point where I'd be like, nope, that's it, tough love time, going full parent mode. Absolutely not. You're going to be eating what I make. If you don't eat what I make, well, too bad. You're not that hungry, so you're going to starve. If they try to order in food or try to sneak food into the house, absolutely not. Food's going out. Phone's going out the window too.
And it's not something that everybody wants to or can take on as a partner, being a supportive partner. So, I let him control certain things now, in my life. But there's a difference between like a narcissistic control, a control, of asserting power over someone, versus having your back. And what I'm talking about when I mean control is, I'm letting him control things that I have no control over. So yes, I let him control me, with eating now, ordering out. So I'm letting him help me with that. And what I mean by that specifically is, I've decided to show him everything I eat, everything I put in my mouth. You know, like showing him what I eat throughout the day. Anytime we eat out, it'll be together usually anyways, but
So when I first saw the video, I was like, why is she really kind of titling that way? And I kind of thought she was using the perception of how a lot of Westerners see Muslim culture, a very oppressive towards women and wives in general. And I felt like she was using it as a way to kind of get views. I still feel that way, but I'm glad she's kind of explaining it in the way that now she's giving up control of food to her husband, allowing him to make those decisions on what they eat. Apparently it's not gone very well from the looks of the newer videos, but that being said, I feel like he is the type of person to kind of go for the path of least resistance, and a lot of people are like that. If you are dealing with someone with an addiction, you are not going to really be for it, but you're not going to be against it. It's kind of just like, all right, it's an experience that you just have to live with, and you just have to kind of deal with, because you know that if you try to kind of criticize them or hold them accountable, they're just going to take their anger and frustration out on you. And we know Amber and Foodie are two abusive ass people. They're going to go hard on you if you try to take their vices away. And I could feel maybe a couple days, and then he's gonna go, all right, screw this. She's screaming at me, she's yelling at me, she's begging me, she's pleading me, she's doing whatever she needs to do in order to get food. Whatever, have it, move on. I don't care. Eat yourself into the grave. Essentially, is what their perception is going to be, and you could tell that with like Amber, with like Destiny, and with Beck, and with Wifey. It was like they were trying to help, but at the same time, it's like, I don't really care. I just don't want to be screamed at anymore. Just by the end of the relationship, they're just like, I just don't care.
There's no more of me just like turning to him and saying, hey, I'm going to order a 12-inch sub with some cookies and some chips, or I'm going to order Burger King because I want a chicken royal meal, There's no more of that. And so far so good, honestly. I'm not even like craving junk food right now. Not fast food, because I got really bad food poisoning in Thailand. At least I think that's what it was, after eating some pretty disgusting junk. It was like really nasty. Like, I don't know. I was eating like a whole bunch of cheese popcorn. I was eating like this place called Potato Corner, like fried chicken skins, and just like really fatty, really like food that's not like food products. I don't consider that like nutritious food. So I was really sick after, eating or overdoing it on junk food like that. It was just really toxic to my body, and it had a really negative effect on my health, on my, I became really ill. And though I'm feeling a lot better now, I still have that, like, when I think of certain foods, this particularly fried, fatty, non-nutritious food, I feel ill. And, I'm very thankful for that right now, because I don't know if I had that feeling, if I would be so strong, if I would have that willpower.
I want to jump back in here, and it's just listening to her talk about how she doesn't like the fact that she ate like chicken skin, and like fried chicken skin and potatoes and cheese popcorn and all this stuff that made her sick. But only, a couple weeks from now, she's eating the exact same food again. So it doesn't stop you permanently. Like, when you are kind of in the moment, oh yeah, it's really bad, it's making you sick, you don't want to do it again. But it's only a matter of time before you go back to eating that food. You're also placing the burden and responsibility of working on yourself onto your husband. That's not going to work, because there's going to be a point in time when he is not around, and what are you going to do with yourself? Okay, the person that stopped you from eating is gone. Are you going to be able to manage it on your own? No. You're just going to binge. Work on your own issues and stop placing your responsibility on other people.
The same willpower, I don't know. I don't know if that will ever come back. I'm sure at some point I will get cravings for certain things. There's still things that, I think I would overindulge on if I had in the house. So we did a healthier grocery order, this time. And yeah, so I just basically, when I mean like controlling, I mean more like being really accountable to him. Yeah, I'm basically just holding myself more accountable than before.
But you're not holding yourself accountable. You're placing the responsibility on someone else. That's not holding yourself accountable. That's making someone else be accountable for your actions. So it's just, go to therapy. Like, seriously, just go to goddamn therapy. If you can't work on the issues yourself, go to professional help and get someone else to help you with your issues. That way you can manage yourself. My God, it's not anyone else's responsibility in your private life to deal with your issues.
Before I had the mentality that I don't, really need to be accountable to anyone but myself. But I think I need to surrender that idea for now, that I can be, that I can control, that I'm in control, because I'm not, and I know that I do need to be, but I do need some help with that at first. And being as my husband is like, he's my husband, he's my, he's
Exactly. He is your husband. He is your equal. He is not your caretaker. He is not your father. He is not your therapist. He is not there to take the responsibility from you. He's there to support you while you take responsibility for yourself.
My supporter. He's he protects me. He cares about me. He really cares about my health, and so yeah, I mean, being 40 and having diabetes, type 2 diabetes, being with someone so unhealthy who can't do anything. And I don't want to be that way anymore either. I want to live life and I want to do a lot in life. So, yeah, I've just been trying to also keep very busy. I find that I've just been really trying to organize my home more, keep it very clean, which as somebody who's very sedentary, rigorous housework is a lot of exercise for me. And I find it takes me a longer time than it would a fit person to complete their whole house of housework. So I kind of just do it in parts. And it's
That's a very good point that she brings up, is that she doesn't have a lot of things throughout her day that occupy her time. And that was pretty much the same thing for me as well. Like, I would come home after work and that's it. Like, I want to see friends, I want to see family, I wouldn't do anything other than just sit there and eat and watch TV or eat and play a game. Now that I'm working out, I'm spending time with friends and family. I'm actively going out and doing shopping and stuff like that. Hate shopping still, but I still do it with friends and family. I'm going to the gym. I'm going out to camping grounds. I'm going on hikes. I'm doing things that I actively enjoy now. I'm taking art classes. Suck terribly at it, but it's really enjoyable and fun. I'm doing things. Oh, and YouTube too. Like, I'm doing YouTube now. These things are extremely fun for me and they fill up my time. So I have less time where I'm like, oh crap, what do I do with my day? Oh, there's food there. I really want to eat. We should eat. That's kind of the reason why I just fill out my calendar the entire time. Hell, there are times where I just volunteer now. I will go and volunteer at shelters, or I will volunteer at food banks and stuff like that, just so that I don't spend time at home alone, so I can really go back to the way I was. I fill up my time so that way I just don't have time to eat. That sounds bad. It's not as bad as I make it sound, but you guys understand what I mean.
It's exercise for me for sure. Lugging things around, mopping, bending, cleaning the fridge and stuff like that. It's good exercise for now. So I've just been trying to keep my mind busy with planning for future things, thinking of things I'd like to do, hobbies I'd like to maybe take up, but I'm really just focused on
Don't think, do. Thinking turns to procrastination, which turns into not eventually doing it and just putting it aside. Just do it. Go do something. I saw an art class one day and I was like, you know what? I would like to be an artist. Never gonna happen. I have two left hands and I can assure you that's never ever gonna happen. Maybe I could do some modern art because let's face it, modern art these days is just 90% interpretation, 10% skill. Probably 95% interpretation and 5% skill. But even then, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I can even do that. Just give it a try. Jump in, have some fun, and just go in with no expectations, and you will have the time of your life. Even if you don't necessarily have the most fun, you can still make anything enjoyable if you go in with just a good, positive attitude and no expectations.
Trying to get healthy and just taking it day by day, and that's what I'm doing, and with Salah, my husband's help as well. So is my husband Salah's not an almond husband, which for those of you who don't know, an almond husband is basically a partner who is very conscious around food, very health conscious around food and stuff like that. I think anyways, I heard that term recently and I was like, yeah, he's not, but he prefers, he does have a sweet tooth, so he likes to eat sweets, but he doesn't overindulge. He'll have a chocolate and then that'll be it, he won't have 3, 4, 5 chocolate bars, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll just have one, and he'll eat his meals and that'll be it. And sometimes he only eats once a day. If I make him a really big healthy breakfast in the morning, that's all he'll really eat, and then he'll have maybe a chocolate bar at night. But he'll also
Me personally, I'm very simple when it comes to food. Like, I won't eat breakfast in the morning because I get very nauseous if I eat very early. Like, I'll have black coffee, some water. Then about lunchtime, I'll have some sort of salad with like chicken or fish or some variation of that. Sometimes I'll just have a salad by itself, and then dinner time, I'll have something that is any type of variation of food. If it is something a little bit less healthy, it's a smaller portion, just with a little bit of something a little bit sugary, nothing too much, just to make sure my sugar levels are higher. I don't have any type of diseases or anything like that. I just have issues with my blood sugar level going down very low throughout the day if I don't eat enough. So I mean to make sure that if it's a little too low, bring it up a little and make sure that I'm okay, and then go to bed, rinse and repeat.
He prefers like real home cooked food over ordering out any day, and he prefers to eat healthy. So, that's good, because if I was with a partner who was just like me, we would be, or somebody who encouraged me to eat unhealthy, or somebody who was like, I don't mind that you eat that. You're perfect the way you are, babe. I love you the way you are. And that's not okay, because that's very dangerous. And at that point, that's where, enabler status comes in. But
Hey Foodie, just in case like you ever see this video, which I highly doubt, but if you do, can you let me know whether or not like this was aimed towards Amber? Because I really do feel like that's what it was. It sounds innocent, but I really think it's taking shots at Amber and Emily right now.
it's not his responsibility for me, I'm responsible for what I put in my mouth at the end of the day. So it's, but I will give him the go ahead to hold me accountable, basically. Hi, baby girl. So I give him that control in that way. I give him, go in the, in the driver's seat in that sense. So, because he did say, Salah said something to me before that was just really like, made me rethink everything about, accepting, your partner accepting you for how you are. And he said, I'm your husband, I'm your family now. Like, if I love you, truly love you, I'm worried about your health. Like if I didn't love you, I wouldn't care,
The purest form of love is tough love. It really is. Like, if you're willing to check people, if you're willing to hold people accountable, and you're willing to criticize their bad actions and their vices in order to get them to be the best versions of themselves, that is the best type of love. And it's not always the best, and sometimes they're going to fight back, they're going to argue with you, they're going to really just push your buttons, and I'm guilty of that myself. Like, sometimes I challenge people, but at the end of the day, it's always just, they want what's best for you. And if they're willing to really push you and criticize you, they really do mean the best for you. They really do love you. Like, obviously, there are ways of like egotists and like narcissists who will do it as a form of abuse. But if a lot of people are willing to push you on your vices and check you and really hold you accountable, they love you. It may seem a bit harsh, it may seem a bit overbearing at times, but they truly do love you. So if he is able to check you and push you in order to be a better person, I completely agree. It's a little bit more gray area when it comes to ultimatums, because ultimately they are like forms of mental and emotional abuse, and I don't really agree with them. But if sometimes you just get to the point in life where you're like, look, if you're not willing to change, I'm not going to stay with you and I'm going to leave because you're just pushing yourself into the ground. You're just, you're going to end up in the ground. I'm going to leave you if you don't change. I can let that slide, honestly. Like, sometimes you need an ultimatum just to push you in the right direction.
So, he does have that mentality that you're beautiful, but I don't want you to die. Like, I want you to be here for a long time. I want you to travel with me. I want you to, just do a lot of things with me, do a lot of things together, and not be unhealthy. And so have a better quality of life. It hurts him to see me in pain with the sciatica and everything else, and then just also like not being able to breathe from walking, or just this and that. So I'm gonna choose my heart, and I'm really gonna try to keep it that focusing on this journey, basically. So that's what I plan on doing, staying on track. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. But so yes, so he's a lot more involved than before. You know, before I didn't really want to hear it, and I would actually be defensive with him about it, and kind of just like anyone else, like kind of like, I got this. I just want to handle it on my own. I just want to, you know, I don't want you to criticize me for what I'm eating. I don't want to hear it. Like, I just want to eat in peace. Like, just leave me alone. Just let me indulge on my Burger King and don't have any opinion on it, you know? So, but
Oh, I could imagine that. I could imagine her going like full sicko mode on him. Like he walks into the lounge room seeing her like eat like onion rings and a burger, and he's like, "Hey, do you think that's a good idea?" And her going full ring on him, like just my precious.
no, I'm gonna totally let him criticize me for that. I'm totally gonna let him criticize me, and I'm totally gonna let him tell me no, and I'm totally gonna let him control this part of my life that I have no control over. So
Dude, there is no way in hell. Like you're trying to convince yourself as much as you're trying to convince your audience of that. You don't take criticism well. The moment he criticizes you, you are gonna go full psycho.
so yeah, I just wanted to explain a bit about that, because a lot of people ask me and wonder, like, what's your husband's role in your eating, you know, eating disorder recovery, in your food addiction recovery, in your weight loss journey. What is your husband's opinion on this? Yeah, so that's basically what it is. He's never nasty. He's just supportive, and he's never like nasty about it, or you know.
I don't know, I don't really like how that is phrased because it comes off kind of weird sounding. Like, what is his role? Like, his role is supposed to be supportive. It's to support her with her ED in order to better herself. It's not meant to be anything other than support. Like, it's not his responsibility to fix the issues for her. It's there to be a pillar in order for her to lean on him when she needs it, not for him to do.
We joke together, which is totally fine. I'm not really uptight. I'm not an uptight person about that. Like, I'm just, you know, I have a sense of humor about my life, my situation a lot of the time. So you guys know, like, I like to laugh at myself sometimes. Depends on my mood, I guess, but yeah, so that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. Just so you guys know the dynamic we have when it comes to that, this particular topic. And yeah, so inshallah, this will be the time that I can finally make these lifestyle changes. And I feel different. About food. I just feel right now like I really just no longer want to harm my body, but I just do need that support so bad from him. And
But that's the thing, again, you're not asking for support, you're asking for control, you're asking for him to do the work for you. And if he leaves you, or if he's not around, or if something happens and he's now in need of your help, you're not going to be able to support yourself or support him, or to be able to look after yourself. Like when he's away, you're going to have to do the work in order for you to better yourself. And it's not just going to be, okay, well, I haven't eaten for X amount of months, so all of a sudden I'm now cured. No, you're just going to get that stresses in your life again, and you're going to get a time in which someone's going to criticize you, or you're going to get into a controversy or drama, or have issues in your relationship, and you're not going to be able to cope. You're immediately going to break and go back into your old habits.
I feel lucky that he like understands, you know, like he's like younger than me, and he's not familiar with this kind of situation. And you know, he could have been like, nope, I'm out of here, you know? So I'm happy that he's like on board. He's very, very, very supportive of me, and he's very, very doting and involved in my healthcare. So yes. Anyway, other than that, I'll have some health updates in the future, you know, some weigh-ins and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Alright guys, it's going to be the end of the video, so thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know how I'm doing, and all that good stuff. quick heads up, I am going to be doing a couple more Q&As, probably not all of them. I'm just going to go up until the last one, maybe like the ankle does, because that's where I get the screenshots from. Like, I do have Instagram, but I'm not going to pollute it with Amber stuff. Like, I love the comic books and the artwork and watching people do tattoos and all the video game content. I am not polluting that stuff with like Amber content. I'm not doing that. Like, my Instagram is a good place for me to just get a little bit of escapism for 10 minutes out of my day when I just want to scroll for a bit when I'm bored. I am not putting Amber on that. Please don't make me do that. But yeah, we'll get up with the Q&As, do the couple videos that Amber has done. I will be doing them in the next couple videos. So you will be seeing the new Amber videos, which will probably be old by the time they're uploaded. But thank you again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.